What is up, everyone, and happy New Year. I mean, I guess it's the day after the New Year day, so I guess you guys have had time to recover, but this morning was a little rough. I'm hurting so bad today, but last night was amazing. Adam threw a little party for all of us, and I had such an amazing time. So Adam, if you're watching this somehow, thank you. But today is kind of like a pretty chill day, obviously, because it's New Year's. I mean, look how dead it is. Like, there's no car. It's 2:30. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. There's not a single car on the road, not a single business open. It's pretty crazy. I didn't realize New Year's Days was this dead, but whatever. We're gonna have kind of like a dead zone for the next week of parts for the JZ swap on the S13, because I started the whole idea in the middle of the holidays, which means getting a hold of people and getting things shipped out and getting things ordered has not been an easy task, and I'm still waiting to hear back from a lot of people, so it's whatever. I picked a bad time, but today Kenny actually called me and told me that he finally got an ECU for the KAT S14 that we put together a few weeks ago. If you guys remember that. If not, Kenny bought like a blown up S14 Zenki with KAT in it, and he bought it for like literally like $1,000, like something dirt cheap. We bought a motor for like $300, put it in, and cleaned it up a lot, and now it's ready for a tune, and this is kind of a big deal. So we were having a lot of issues with it, a lot of electrical issues, but I guess today we'll find out, see if it actually will run now that we have an ECU, and go from there. All right, here it is, S14 Zenki, as you can tell, with a turbo on it, and this has kind of been the little side build we've been doing for a couple weeks now.
Sick. Do you like our lightweight PVC?
Hey, this is just like, if you guys don't remember this car, this is just some eBay ass turbo kit that was pieced together by the previous owner years ago.
Right.
And the guy we bought it from had like 3 Ks in here. He kept blowing it up because it kept running on a stock ECU. You shouldn't do that. The ECU is, I think the map honestly is only made up to basically 0 vacuum pressure, which you're still going past that. So the ECU doesn't know what it's doing. It's dangerous. Some cars you can get away with it with like an FMU or something like that, or you could take the distributor, retarded timing like manually a little bit, but we're gonna do it the right way. And Kenny decided to do the right move and get himself a standalone ECU.
It's right here. We stick it in just like this.
All right, sir. All right, here we go. This is an MS. Is it MS2? So this is a plug and play standalone ECU, so this will plug right into the factory engine harness, which is obviously the most convenient thing ever, but it operates as a standalone ECU. This is essentially the same thing I have in my E36. So this has like the built-in speed density function, so we can get rid of the MAF right away, which is my favorite thing ever, and we can just plug and go. So we're gonna plug this in, get a base map on, like a startup map, and then go from there. All right, so the plug and play stuff is obviously the best because I could literally unplug the stock ECU and plug this one in. We don't have to make a whole harness, we don't have to make a jumper harness or anything. You can just undo the stock harness. Like that. Plug it in like that. That's not a 10 mil. Alright, she's connected. All we have to do now is run a vacuum line right here from the inside of the intake, and we'll have the speed density function, which I talk about all the time, which is basically where we measure the airflow off the pressure in the manifold instead of this big, stupid, ugly mass airflow sensor. Alright, first connect.
I don't think we're gonna get the connection.
Don't fuck it up, Kenny.
We don't even. The car doesn't even have power.
Well, that's the issue.
Yeah, but I'm gonna still try. That's set to 1150, so we'll test it again. Failed. What the fuck? Okay, no, now it's okay. It says successful. Okay.
What's up, Jet?
Okay.
What up?
It says failed, and then it says successful. So it's like alternating back and forth.
I would try a new cord.
Derek, say hi to the camera.
Sup, bitches.
So we're having a little bit of a firmware issue, or connecting issue with the Mega Squirt. So we call Derek. He's Mega Squirt master.
Okay, thank you. I'll call you back when I find something.
Okay, we figured it out.
No,
it took like 40 minutes. Oh,
it was like an hour and a half.
It was like an hour and a half. It's okay. When we tuned Bry's stock computer on his Beamer. We messed up some settings on Kenny's computer. We forgot to change back.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass, so we're good to go. It's cool. So now actually starts the process.
Okay,
so bring on the more issues.
We're starting a little late, but you know, we're off to a good.
This is how it goes. All right, so it's a new ECU with nothing on it. We just uploaded a stock K tune, and we couldn't find like a turbo base map. So we're gonna have to basically make an ignition map and fuel map from scratch, which isn't too difficult since we're gonna have to change it anyways as we go on, but something rough we could do, which can take some time. Our first goal is to just get the car to start, at least on this ECU. So, and then once it's running, we have to check the base timing. This is like a kind of a rookie move. I don't care how good you are at tuning, you always check the base timing because that means you're just hoping someone else did it right. Most people, can't trust everyone.
Can't trust anyone.
No one. So just check it because it could really fuck everything up. Try and start it.
Hit it.
Oh.
That was about what I expected to happen.
Hey, cool. I'm not gonna lie. Another 20 minutes went by.
Yeah.
It was being a pain in the ass, but it's running now. It's idling, and now I can start playing with a few things. So of course we're gonna be looking at an Afr gauge at first. We want the idle to be around 14.7 ideally. Sometimes cars like to run richer. Sometimes they like to run leaner. It's not really a big deal, so whatever the car prefers. But this shit is buried in the tens.
So that's the first thing we're gonna fix.
All right, so it's supposed to be a base of 15 degrees before TDC, and there's markings on the crank, and we're gonna use the timing light to adjust it to those markings. You might not be able to see it because I can barely see it, but right now it sits at about, can you fucking see it? Because I can't.
I can't see it.
It's at 25.
Okay.
We're gonna move it until it moves back to 15. I'm gonna put the camera down, even though I can't see anyways. It's at 15, and as you guys can tell, it's actually idling a lot smoother. It likes it, so good. Now the only thing we gotta do is it's running really rich at idle. It's running a little too rich, but I'm almost thinking the Afr gauge is being funky because we took a lot of fuel out. So we ran into our first issue. What would it be without any issues, you know what I mean? So what we have here is the battery voltage. The ECU is saying it has 5.2 volts. Now that's pretty bad because, everything is voltage based. So when the voltage varies, everything acts completely different. Your injectors fire different, your coil packs fire different, everything, and it screws everything up. And even if it isn't at 5.2 volts and it is at 12 volts like right now, which would kind of make sense because it's running half decent, there's a lot of safety features in the ECU that would cause your sensors to run differently with low voltage. What'd you do?
No, just look at the voltage on the fucking box.
What's the box say? 100?
No. The actual meter.
Oh, it actually is 7 volts. That's really bad. Okay, so it explains basically why it's running so weird, because the injectors just don't know what the hell they're doing when the voltage is that low. So we're gonna try and correct this. We have some crazy phantom fucking battery draw on here, and I guess we're going right back to diagonal. That sound good? All right, so we were having issues with the so we added like 3 more engine grounds.
Yeah, don't look under there.
And the car is behaving quite well. It's still a little bit lower voltage than we like, but we have a clean idle, nice and smooth. The Afr idle is pretty desirable. I'm pretty stoked. We made sure all our fuel settings were correct. You can never just assume the map is right. Even if it's running well, you have to go through everything. Make sure your injector dead time's fine. Make sure the ECU knows what size the engine is and what size the injectors are, because sometimes people just tune off a random number and not realize it. So it's idling beautifully. It hasn't. Yeah, it's not working.
It just fell on its face?
Oh yeah, plug it back in. All right, so our alternator isn't working, so we have to run it off a battery charger for now. We couldn't find a turbo map, so I just had to make a whole ignition table from scratch and a whole fuel table from scratch, and I'm pretty proud of myself. All right, fast forward to me changing the alternator.
It is now 8:30. It's been 2 hours.
No, we got. I got this out in like 5 minutes. Come on, you hear that? I'm not saying that's what makes it bad, but it wasn't charging, so.
Okay. And then, new alternator.
Butter. All right, let's see if it fixed itself. Sounds good. I gotta test it. Cool. All right, let's see, boys. Yep, 14.7, boys. We're good. Ow, I just punched the hood out. 14.7. So now I think it's time to put on the roller. Kenny wants to go on the street. It's not even worth going on the road.
Road test, just to make sure like it doesn't blow up.
No, yeah, it'll blow up if we put it on the road. So, since we are going speed density, we can get rid of the math. So we're gonna remove this intake right here. Plus, with this, we don't have fender liner, so it's just kind of exposed to the elements. So we're just gonna throw the intake right inside the engine bay. So we're good. So now it's actually time to tune it. It's set up to idle really nice, but we still gotta obviously dial in the street functions and the full throttle stuff. So like the only thing that's gonna hinder us right now is the fact that it has stock injectors. So we're gonna be limited to probably 200 horsepower, but that's pretty good compared to 120 that the factory motor probably is. All right, let's see what she does. We're gonna put on wastegate pressure, probably 7 PSI. And hopefully not instantly max out the injector. Well, I mean, they're instantly gonna get maxed out, but hopefully it does the trick.
What do you think it made?
I have no idea.
225.
Made 225?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much boost?
6 PSI. There was a lot of fuel in that.
Yeah.
Wow, that thing barks, dude. That was weird.
That was freaky. I wasn't expecting to do that.
The feeling on that was horrendous. Like, it kind of jumped out of nowhere, and it still.
That was definitely right there.
That doesn't look that bad.
No, it
It's made what, 223 horsepower at 6 PSI? It's a good KA.
That's fucking nasty.
That's
100 RPM.
All of the boost by 2,800 RPMs, and it just held it.
So
wastegate pressure is not bad.
no, I might leave it like this. That was 220.
Okay. Okay. With the boosted cars, of course, under like boost, under load, we want it to hold 11.5 for the AFRs. So my goal is to get this, basically, this needs to be 11.5 before we hit full boost. So I got to bring this in quicker, hold 11.5, and then we can add some timing to it and pick up some real power. I'm excited. Okay, ready? Well, so it's fat in the mid-range, up top. No matter how much fuel I throw at it, it just leans out.
So we have to put those big injectors in it.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, so we just did another pull, tried to clean up the AFRs a little bit. I got the mid-range a little bit where I want it to be. It picked up a little bit more mid-range power, probably like 8 to 10 horsepower in the mid-range. But what we noticed is no matter how much fuel I put up top, the car is just leaning out, which means
we're out of injector.
So, I mean, we knew it. We called it from the start. With like a 6-cylinder, it's very easy to know how much horsepower you're going to get from the injectors, because usually, at least with the straight six, I know it's usually horsepower to CC of the injectors, give or take, obviously. Equal on pump gas equals power. So on a 4-cylinder, it's not the same. Usually, it's probably 30% less than the size, I would say. And these are 250cc injectors. We made 233 horsepower. We made 223 horsepower, so it makes sense. Luckily, Kenny has some 550s in the back room.
We're gonna throw them in.
That I'm gonna make him throw them in, but not tonight. It is late. We had a long day. I'm excited we got this far. It idles great. It moves under its own power. It doesn't overheat. It's smooth, and it just made. I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
It sounds so gnarly.
It sounds.
I tried to get good like audio of the exhaust, but
the wastegate took over.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really needs to be up here because after like 2,500 RPMs, all you can hear is the wastegate.
We have the low end power right now, but just wait. Once you get the injectors in, I think I was letting off at 5,000 RPMs. We have another 1,500 RPMs to make power with. So I'm excited. This is sick. I'm hoping for 270 horsepower at 10 pounds on like a good tune with pump gas in it. So for 6 psi running out of injectors, 230, when a car that makes 135 horsepower, that's pretty sick. So we're gonna end it here. I hope you guys liked today's video, and I hope you guys are excited to see some more horse puppies coming out of this thing. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. And Kenny,
Keep it real.
you got a palm it now.
Oh, we go like that?
There you go. Later, guys.